Welcome to the We the People of Washington live stream. We've taken a week off, right, Tony?
Yes.
Pretty much,
Nice.
we've taken a week off, but we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a nice week
Yes, it
recuperating from
was.
all the fun.
Yeah, so we got a couple of days, and then we're taking another night off, and then we are back full time with a lot of exciting stuff coming here in January. We've got a gubernatorial candidate. We've got other candidates that are going to be announcing. We've got lots of national We the People Washington news. Pennsylvania is having a convention. Hopefully, some other states jump on board as well. And then we've got a day at the Capitol coming up. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Informed Choice Washington is putting together an event for people on the 15th
Mhm.
to schedule appointments to go in and talk to your legislators. So I plan to be there because I've actually never done that. So I thought that it would be a really cool experience and to see how that works and see what they have to say. It never occurred to me that I could just go make an appointment and ask them questions about what they're doing. you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
that's what we should all be doing.
yeah, so I remember we used to do a day at the Capitol in the Libertarian Party back in was 2013, 2014, 2015. And we'd go in there and we'd all meet up, and there's a conference room that we could rent, and we'd get together. Glenn Morgan came one time. Um, one of the other Washington policy organization speakers came. But yeah, talking about what's going on, and then we go to the Capitol and we go sit with our legislators from our district, and talk to them. And it always confused me, because when you go in there, like they all have these little tiny rooms, right? And there's these benches, just rows of benches outside of their rooms, right? And you got all the Republicans on one side, on the Democrats on another side. Like they're completely separated. So it's not like District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 5, is they
Really?
completely separate the parties. Oh yeah. Yeah, they keep
Huh.
them completely separated. Because they obviously don't want people listening in to their conversations, right? You don't want the opposition right there, if you're corrupt. So what also was weird, and I've talked to Glenn about this, and we brought this up, is that there's no transparency. Is that these representatives in their taxpayer paid for offices with their taxpayer paid for salaries are having private conversations with corporate lobbyists and union lobbyists and NGO lobbyists in their taxpayer funded rooms,
Right.
and there's no live streams going on you know
Yeah.
so that's one thing that we're going to push. But you'll see when you go to the Capitol, um what day is it? What
It's
day
the
are you planning
15th.
this?
I believe it's a Thursday. It's
Yep.
Thursday the 15th. And I've been to the Capitol. I was there in 20 I swear to God it lasted quite a while, but I was there 2018 or 2019 when they were pushing through the measles vaccine, saying that you couldn't have there was no opting out of it, right? That it's mandatory, period. And so I was up there a lot during that. I was up there. I actually got to meet Del Bigtree. That was the first time I
Nice.
saw Kennedy in person. He spoke, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I did send Dell a text message today. So he hasn't responded yet.
that's
But that's
awesome.
understandable. It was only a few hours ago, so I did
Yeah.
send Dell Big Tree a text. And for those watching, the reason why is we want to get them on our show. One, two is that we're looking for a presidential and vice presidential candidate here in 2028 to represent we the people, and we're trying to find those who mostly stand with our views and have big followings, so we can get that 5% to become a major party.
Right. Right. It's just we just need something big that people will get behind and um see what we stand for, because the bigger the audience, the more people will see us and really get to hear what we're trying
Yeah.
to do.
So we're trying to get a big tree
A big tree.
Someone big.
Yeah.
And who
So
knows, and the thing is, it's like we haven't talked to him, right? Who knows if he'll be on board with it? You know, it is a big responsibility to be the presidential candidate for we the people. I had a conversation with the chair of Pennsylvania, we the people today, and they're going to talk. He's going to talk to his members about if they want to be involved with a presidential candidate for their state also, and then hopefully we'll talk to some of the other states as well. But the concept behind running a presidential candidate in your state for we the people is that the name recognition is going to drive new members and new donors and new candidates across your state, and that's the big thing. If we do have a couple big names as presidential and vice presidential candidate here in Washington state, there will be a surge of interest for what we're doing. Yeah, we had a surge with RFK, which is great, but the momentum has died completely from what I can tell. You know,
yeah.
after he joined Trump's administration, and now Trump is doing a lot of things that I can see RFK supporters are not, cool with. It just, we lost a lot of momentum,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
need to
We
get
need
it
to get
back.
those people back. Exactly. So what I was just gonna say, because there's a people like me who I still voted for Kennedy after he said vote for Trump. I
Yeah,
couldn't bring myself to do it. you know, but
I
I
didn't vote
also
for Trump either.
yeah, I also understood the value of voting for Kennedy, right? So I know that
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who voted that same way. It just was not enough, you know.
yeah. The thing is, we have to get that message out there. This in 2028, that major party status is going to be a game changer, not just for us here in Washington, but for the entire country.
Yeah.
Imagine the headlines if we're able to say Washington State, we the people is now a major party in Washington State. That's going to
Yeah.
change everything.
Right. It'll give people some hope that it can be done,
Yep.
right? And I don't know, it feels like now is the time. It really does. I don't think that there's been a better time for third party politics in
Yep.
our history. Well, our founding fathers, I suppose.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's been a while.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a while for sure.
So getting back to going up to talking to your legislators, every single legislative office is open for reelection.
Oh yeah.
They're every
Yep.
single one of them. So we should go up and we should get as many people as we possibly can to go up and talk to them and ask the questions. I looked up mine. Mine is Andrew Barkus. I'm in Legislative District 2. And Andrew Barkus and Matt Marshall. There's one other guy. But these two are up for reelection. And so I put together the committees that they're on and the committees that they will be on that coming up this year. And then some questions that I want to be able to ask them, just, when we're talking about health freedom, like what is your stance on protecting individual choice and medical decisions, especially in relation to state level mandates?
Hmm.
That's a really important question to ask. And I'm really hoping that I can get a visit with each of them, because if they don't answer the questions the way that I think that they should be answered, and I think I actually was shocked to see that they're actually both Republicans as well. Actually, all three of them in my district are actually
In the
Republicans.
second district.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Pierce County, it kind of blew my mind. I had no idea that there was that many. So I'm hoping to get some good answers to these things, but I also want to look up and see how have they voted in the past when these type of issues have come up.
Yeah. So we didn't talk to Steven Nielsen when he was on, last couple of weeks ago when we were talking about his run for public lands commissioner. But Steven Nielsen ran for the second district for state representative where you live currently.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he
I did
ran
not
for
realize
that
that.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he ran against JT Wilcox. You know, he brought that up in the interview. He ran against JT Wilcox, who at the time was the Republican minority chair.
Right.
So interesting. Who are your current
Wilcox might
representatives?
actually be the third one then. Because that might actually be our third one because he's not up for reelection right now.
I don't think
Is he
he's
not in there
still
anymore?
elected.
I feel like I still see Wilcox. Anyway.
Yeah, you see it at the grocery store. He's got Wilcox Family Farms.
Right. Oh, I know that. Yeah. And then how do you go about getting an appointment? And so,
Oh, you just call and schedule it.
yeah. So I wrote a letter and I'm going to be sending out an email to let everybody know what I'm doing and just give them kind of a guidelines as to how I'm going about doing it. And so I've got an example of the letter in there, just basically saying that I'd like to come talk to them and I'm so-and-so and I'm in your district and I'd like to come and sit down and have, 10, 15 minutes with you on the 15th. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're barely in the district.
Yeah. 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 I've gone to meet with like Patty Murray's people and I've gone to meet with but I'm hoping that I can actually get in to meet with them rather than their, counterparts.
So I want to share this, because it's appropriate for a lot of people who don't know what district they're in, but you can actually go to the Washington State website, app.leg.wa.gov/district finder, and you can actually put in your address and it'll pull up. Control zoom.
So you can actually, if you go to the registration, like the Washington voter registration page as well, and you put in your name and your date of birth, it will show you your precinct, your district, and your, oh my gosh. I totally just lost what the other one is. Anyway.
Oh, good. So you have Jim McCune, Representative Andrew Barkis, and Representative Matt Marshall. Matt Marshall actually ran for the Republican Party chair at the last convention and lost against Jim Walsh.
Oh. Well, he would be interesting to go talk to then, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a freedom-oriented guy also. So you'll actually have a really good conversation.
Yeah. And it looks like Barkis has been in there since 2016. So I'm really curious to see what he's done. What have you done through all of this since 2016 to fight against all this bullshit? Have you done anything?
They don't. Yeah, they don't have much power. That's the thing, and he'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Like the Republicans will tell you, there are the Democrats have a super majority, right?
Right.
So
right.
The Republicans have little to no power at all whatsoever.
Right. But what are they doing to fix that? What are they doing to work across the aisle on some of this and talk to people?
I mean, you can ask them, and I'd love for you to videotape it like we were talking about and record it, but I wouldn't say anything about running ads or, doing the things.
No. I want to know, what are they doing to work across the aisle? What are they doing to work with their counterparts?
I don't think there's anything they can do. Like if you look at the amount of corruption and fraud going on, there's nothing that can be done. These people are bought and paid for.
Right. No, we have to get an army of we the people in there. But if we talk to people like this and we can support people like this who actually want change, right? And let's just assume Matt Marshall is, on board with the things that we're trying to do, then he could be a sounding board, he could, who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So this is the thing. The Republicans who are currently elected, they're currently elected because they're in districts that could elect them, right?
Right.
They will not leave what they have going on. What would be the point of them leaving the Republican Party, right? our candidates, the We the People Party candidates, we're actually going to be going up against them in their
Right.
districts and in the Democrat districts, because currently, like in the second, the second district I'm looking at right now, it's it's mostly rural, right? A
Yes.
Democrat cannot win there. Okay, Yelm, like definitely, you
Right.
know, eh, so there's no way that a Democrat can win there. But we could run a We the People candidate for the sole purpose of getting our ideas out
Right. Right.
there. And
But
also at the same time, because of the education aspect, getting our ideas out there, that's also how we can win the seat if we
right.
focus on educating, right?
Right. I just think if we don't, like Andrew Barkus can probably go, right? He's been in there now for, this would be 10 years.
Yeah.
And, what is he, has he done anything good for us? I don't know. I know that it's hard because the Republicans have no power, right? But I mean, if they are doing good things, then we could show people why it's important to stand up and go and talk to them and see what they have to say.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely go talk to him.
So it should be interesting. It should be really interesting just to see what comes of it.
Yeah, let me put this down. Absolutely. And I encourage everyone to go meet with your state representatives. I've met with them multiple times. I've been to multiple town halls with my state reps. I know them on a first name basis. They know me, like good or bad, but they know who I am.
Right.
So most people couldn't tell you who their state representative is or their state senator, who your city council members are. And I know all these names throughout the county. And, you know, it's interesting because now we've been so active locally that there's people attending all these different meetings. And when I talk to them on the phone, I talked to two different people today and they attended different meetings, city council meetings, and they were telling me about what's going on and the bullshit, and like, oh, there's a new art district that's popping up in Long Beach, and they're giving themselves, because the mayor owns a business in the art district, and she's friends with two other business owners in the arts district that are, they have galleries and they're all getting grants from the city. So you just hear about this corruption going on all over the place.
Wow.
There's a Somali daycare corruption with those grants being passed out, but that is the most, like, that right there is going to be a catalyst for this shit locally, like art district grants that are
Right.
going to the mayor, whose husband owns the building in the arts district, and her two friends that own galleries in the newly formed arts district that is getting grants from the city, with the new mayor, you know, um, Svensson. She's, implementing this, like taking taxpayer money, paying her friends, making sure their businesses thrive. That is
People don't
corruption.
understand how much that happens.
Oh, it happens all the time, all over the place. And
Yeah.
we're covering this in Pacific County. I should go grab the binder of all of the grant money that's going out in the Freedom of Information Request Acts that people are submitting. So it is going to be very interesting to see what happens, because it's being put out there in the public in a way that's getting people pissed off, if only for the fact that these are immigrants that have been used by the government, by people
Right.
in government. That's what's happening. Like the Somali daycare owners, they were told to do that. They were told to file paperwork. They probably got help in filing paperwork. They got help in setting up their businesses, right? And they got help in filing the grants and getting the grants.
Right.
And this is happening all across the country, in local communities all over the place, where you have an art district grants, right? People are getting thousands of dollars in these local areas, and not just for arts, but there's all kinds of other grants being passed out. The homeless industrial complex, right? We
Yeah.
talked to Renee about that. These are grants. People are being told to set up these organizations based around the government, based around these government grants, and then they are donating back to the politicians that set up the grants. That is corruption.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Blows my mind that they've gotten away with it for so long.
yeah,
And it's just, people are so blind to it and they act like it's not a big deal. But like that's our money,
yep,
And now in Seattle, I I was having discussions with people today over the minimum wage going up, and I'm like, there's just more businesses are going to leave. Like, this isn't solving anything. This is making the
no,
problem worse. And people are like, oh, you must be a millionaire and can afford to buy groceries. And I'm like, what? Like, it
yeah,
doesn't even make sense. I'm like, we need to deregulate things and make things easier so that businesses want to stay here and come here.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't know. The ignorance behind economics is baffling.
I know it's sad, but speaking of economics, we are raising money. We just got a $150 donation that came in. I don't know if you saw that email just popped up.
It did not.
So we are running ads, $5 a day, and we'd like to increase it. So if you are in a position to donate to We the People, we would greatly appreciate it. That $150 donation that just came in will cover an entire month of ads. So that's
Yes.
exciting.
Yes.
Did you see it?
I did. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yes. That
That's
was
awesome.
me, by the way.
Yeah. I know. I got to donate some more too. We don't mind donating, right? Like, we're doing this because we're passionate about it. We love
Yep.
it. We really, really, truly think that this is the future. And we'll do everything that we can to help support it. It's going to be really exciting when people catch on and start donating a little bit more and taking that off of our plate a little bit. But if people can't donate monetarily, because we do understand that as well, we could just use some help.
Yeah.
I could use
So
email help and all kinds of things. So
yeah, so there's and I've thought about this a lot, and there's a lot of people who don't know how to use, the email software, MailChimp and all this other stuff. But the cool thing is that I didn't know how to use it. You didn't know how to use it.
nope. I didn't
We
know
just
how
have
to
to have,
use hardly anything. Or where
yeah,
do you go to even figure out what you need to know?
yeah.
I've never
So
gone to talk to my legislator,
yeah.
you know?
So I was talking with Nathan Romick out in Pennsylvania earlier today. We had an hour-long conversation, and they're about to have their second convention in February, right? And they're the only state party, We the People, that have actually had a convention and elections, right, in the entire country. So most of all of us that are operating are doing so just out of our, capacity. We said, yes, I will be the chair, the vice chair, and I'm going to push this thing forward. But it looks like we will be the second state party in the country to hold a convention. And what we were talking about earlier is he said when they did that in-person event, people stepped up into positions, right? Because they were there in person, they saw it was a real thing. Versus, yeah, we've asked people to step up, but we don't really have the positions outlined and the descriptions, the job
Right.
descriptions or the role descriptions, and we don't have the regions set up yet. So once we get that all set up, I think that you know at our convention, people will step up into those positions, and there will be a team across the state of Washington. I can
Right.
see it happening. you
Yeah.
know, and it's going to take that in-person convention for that to happen, because then it's going to
Right.
make it real. Because then you and I, like, we've met in person, but not many people have met us.
Right, right. And I am, we are going out there and meeting people. And, the
Yep.
15th, I'm really hoping that people will come up with me and do this. And then, we can meet for drinks afterwards or something. And then the 17th, we're going to be down there with you, Glenn and I, and we're going to do an
Yep.
event down there on the 17th so that people can meet us. And then I haven't set in stone anything else after that. But after the holidays, then we're going to set in stone some more events as well so that people can get out there. So hopefully then by March, right, people will be excited because we're going out and doing things. In March and April we can get together and have a convention.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to do our best to make that happen. So, and then we're going to send some letters out too to some of the top RFK people from around the state.
Yep.
And yeah, so
Yep. Lots to do, lots to do. Fun stuff. I'm really excited for the new year. This last 6 months has been incredible. And the amount of growth that we've had just in the 6 months has been just phenomenal. So I can't wait to see what we can do in the new year.
yeah, well, we're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep growing, talking to other We the people from around the country. Like
Yeah.
what we're doing here, with Glenn actually stepping up and running for office is actually inspiring other states to take action and make it
Yeah.
happen. So,
Yeah. 'Cause a lot of people don't realize that it's that simple, you know, it's just that simple. Like just do it. Just go all in and just go for it.
yeah, well, we're going to show exactly what that means here in
Yeah.
Washington State. So, I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
I am too. Um, I think we'll call it good for here a little bit early. I have company downstairs. They're eating all of my food.
Awesome. Yeah, I know
So
that. So, um, yeah, so let's send out an email, talking about your event on the 15th and then our event on the 17th. I did talk to Anthony Barron, and it does look like we'll be able to use his place. So,
awesome.
for our event. Yep.
Cool. Very cool. Yes, I will get all of that information out this week so that people can plan.
Cool. Sounds good,
So
Tony.
right on. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you
All
tomorrow.
right.
Bye
Have
bye.
a good one. Bye.
You too.